Before the world knew him as Dwayne Johnson, before Hollywood fame and WWE championships, he was just a struggling kid moving from city to city with a family drowning in financial problems. Dwayne Douglas Johnson was born on May 2, 1972, in Hayward. Wrestling was already in his blood. His father, Rocky Johnson, was a professional wrestler, while his grandfather, Peter Maivia, was also a famous wrestling legend. But despite this legacy, their family life was far from glamorous. Money was always short. Sometimes the family had no place to stay. Dwayne later revealed that they were evicted from apartments more than once. As a child, he watched his parents struggle every single day. He saw arguments over bills, unpaid rent, and uncertainty about the future. Moving constantly made it hard for him to make friends. He lived in different states and even spent part of his childhood in New Zealand with his mother's Samoan family. There, he learned discipline, culture, and the importance of family honor. But when he returned to the United States, life became rough. As a teenager, Dwayne fell into trouble. He got involved in fights, theft, and street violence. By the age of 17, he had already been arrested multiple times for fighting and stealing. Anger filled his mind because he felt life had given him nothing. Everything changed when he discovered football. Dwayne became obsessed with training. His massive body, natural strength, and determination made him stand out immediately. Coaches noticed his potential, and for the first time in his life, he believed he might escape poverty. He earned a full scholarship to the University of Miami, one of the top football schools in America. For Dwayne Johnson, this was the beginning of hope. But destiny had something completely different planned for him. At the University of Miami, Dwayne Johnson believed football would change his life forever. He trained harder than almost everyone around him. Every practice felt like a battle for survival. He wanted to become a superstar in the NFL and finally give his family financial stability. In 1991, his team won the national championship. Everything seemed perfect. But behind the scenes, Dwayne struggled. Injuries began destroying his body. He suffered severe back and shoulder problems that kept him off the field. Worse, younger players started replacing him. One of those players was future NFL legend Warren Sapp. Dwayne slowly realized his dream was slipping away. Still, he refused to quit. After college, he signed with the Calgary Stampeders in the Canadian Football League. He believed this was his final chance to reach the NFL. But reality hit him hard. He earned very little money and lived in difficult conditions. Then, only months into the season, he was cut from the team. Just like that, the dream was over. At only 23 years old, Dwayne Johnson returned home broke, depressed, and hopeless. In his pocket, he reportedly had only $7. $7. No football career. No money. No future. For many people, this would have been the end. But for Dwayne Johnson, it became the beginning of something far greater. One day, he looked at his father, Rocky Johnson, and made a life-changing decision. He would become a professional wrestler. At first, he hated the idea. He had seen how difficult wrestling life was. He saw injuries, pain, and financial struggles destroy his father's life. But now he had no other option. So Rocky Johnson began training his son brutally. The workouts were painful. The ring training was merciless. Every mistake meant punishment. Dwayne bled, suffered injuries, and pushed his body beyond limits. Soon, wrestling promoters began noticing the young athlete with unbelievable charisma and strength. The world was about to meet a future legend. And the name, The Rock, would soon shake the entire planet. In 1996, Dwayne Johnson officially entered the world of WWE, which was then called WWF. The company introduced him as Rocky Maivia, combining the names of his father Rocky Johnson and grandfather Peter Maivia. The company wanted him to be a smiling hero. But fans hated it. Crowds booed him loudly during matches. They chanted, "Rocky sucks," every time he appeared. For a young wrestler trying to survive, it was humiliating. Most wrestlers would have failed under that pressure. But Dwayne changed everything. Instead of pretending to be the good guy, he transformed himself into an arrogant, trash-talking villain with unmatched confidence. That was the birth of The Rock. And suddenly, the audience exploded with excitement. His charisma was unlike anything wrestling had seen before. He insulted opponents with humor, delivered unforgettable speeches, and dominated matches with electrifying energy. His catchphrases became legendary. "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" The world loved him. Soon, WWE entered its most successful era, the Attitude Era, alongside superstars like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, and The Undertaker. The rivalry between The Rock and Stone Cold became one of the greatest feuds in wrestling history. Week after week, millions tuned in to watch them fight. The Rock became world champion multiple times and turned into one of the most famous entertainers on earth. But success came with pressure. His body suffered constant punishment from brutal matches, injuries, and non-stop travel schedules. Yet he continued performing because he wanted more than wrestling fame. Much more. Hollywood had started watching him. And soon, Dwayne Johnson would attempt something almost impossible. Leaving wrestling to become a movie star. When Dwayne Johnson first entered Hollywood, many people laughed at him. To movie executives, he was just a wrestler. They believed muscular wrestlers could never become serious actors. Studios wanted him to change everything about himself. Some told him to stop going to the gym. Others wanted him to stop using the name, The Rock. At first, he struggled badly. Though he appeared in The Mummy Returns and The Scorpion King, critics attacked his acting. Many predicted his Hollywood career would fail quickly. But Dwayne refused to quit. He worked harder than almost anyone in the industry. He woke up before sunrise, trained for hours, studied acting, and slowly improved film after film. Still, success did not happen overnight. Several of his movies underperformed. He realized audiences did not connect with the fake, perfect action hero image Hollywood created for him. So he made another bold decision. He became himself. Funny. Charismatic. Hardworking. Relatable. That change transformed everything. Movies like Fast 5 turned him into one of Hollywood's biggest stars. Soon he appeared in massive franchises including Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, Moana, and the Fast and Furious series. His popularity exploded worldwide. The same man who once had only $7 became one of the highest paid actors on earth. But fame and money could not protect him from personal pain. Behind the smiles, Dwayne Johnson still battled emotional struggles, pressure, and heartbreak. And the next chapter of his life would reveal the human side behind the superstar. To the world, Dwayne Johnson looked unstoppable. He was rich, famous, powerful, and admired globally. But behind the scenes, life was not always perfect. For years, Dwayne battled emotional stress and depression. He later admitted that painful experiences deeply affected him mentally. Watching his mother attempt suicide during his teenage years left a permanent scar on his heart. That memory haunted him for years. Despite becoming successful, he constantly pushed himself beyond limits. Endless filming schedules, business responsibilities, intense workouts, and pressure from fans created enormous stress. He also faced failures. Some films disappointed at the box office. Injuries returned repeatedly from years of wrestling and extreme training. Public criticism became unavoidable. Yet Dwayne continued moving forward. Why? Because he remembered poverty. He remembered being broke. He remembered having $7. Those painful memories became fuel. Outside entertainment, he focused heavily on helping others. Through charity work and motivational speeches, he inspired millions worldwide. Fans connected with his honesty about failure, depression, and struggle. Unlike many celebrities, Dwayne openly discussed pain and vulnerability. That honesty made people admire him even more. He also became a successful businessman, launching projects like Terramana Tequila and working with major companies including Under Armour. Everywhere he went, his influence grew larger. But even after conquering wrestling and Hollywood, Dwayne Johnson still had one final goal: to build a legacy greater than fame itself. Today, Dwayne Johnson is far more than a wrestler or actor. He has become a global symbol of hard work, discipline, and resilience. From poverty to worldwide fame, his journey inspired millions because it feels real. People saw a man who failed repeatedly, got rejected countless times, and still refused to surrender. That is why fans connect deeply with him. In wrestling, he became one of the greatest superstars in the history of WWE. In Hollywood, he transformed into one of the biggest action stars on earth. In business, he built a massive empire. And through social media, he created a unique bond with fans by sharing workouts, life lessons, and personal struggles openly. But perhaps the most powerful part of his story is this: Dwayne Johnson never forgot where he came from. He still talks about the days when he had only $7 in his pocket. In fact, he even named his production company $7 Productions as a reminder of those difficult times. For him, success was never just about money. It was about proving that failure does not define a person. Today, millions know him by one legendary name: The Rock. A boy who once had nothing became one of the most famous men in the world. Enjoyed the video? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing stories and videos every day. Your support keeps the channel alive and motivates us to create even better content.